Okay, so we are continuing Be'ezrat Hashem Halachot Shabbat, volume 5, page 47. Bechor. And we're talking about the laws of tying on Shabbat. Ari, ваше место здесь. Да? Окей. Окей. Просто что там шея тоже не болела на ту сторону. А то потом я его выпрямил. So the page 47, the Rav Yosef says you're not allowed to tie on Shabbat, make a knot on Shabbat. What's considered to be a knot on Shabbat? So says Rav it has to have two conditions to be D'oraita. If one condition is fulfilled, it's only the Rabbanan. What are the two conditions? If I can ask you for one tissue for the glass. What is the two conditions? Bechor, it has to be a long term and it has to be professional. Thank you. What is a long term?
More than 7 days.
So we said there is two opinions, Ashkenazi and Sephardi. There, in the Rishonim, there is 4 opinions in the Rishonim. In the Halakha, bottom line, we have 2 opinions. Ashkenazim say, David John, welcome back. The Ashkenazim, Sephardim say, first opinion 24 hours, second opinion 3-4 days, third opinion 7 days, fourth opinion, what is mean long term? Forever. For example, you made knots of your tzitzit. When you make the tie of tzitzit, how long you want it to last? Forever. Until the tzitzit is still good, I want it to last. Right? That's the intention of whoever ties the tzitzit. So if a person tying tzitzit that open on Shabbat, he makes that double knot, lo alenu lo alechem, he violated the issue of tying on Shabbat. Like smoking a cigarette on Shabbat. Person ties tzitzit on Shabbat. So let me fix it for you. Chick, 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 chick. He fixes it. Does not everybody knows how to do the tzitzit ties? And he fixed it. Not from A to Z. Even just the edges of it.
Just do this.
The edges of it came apart, right? Well, let's say 1 or 2 strings, the loops, got loosened, and this guy knows how to put them. He knows how to do tzitzit, but he doesn't know the laws of Shabbat. It could happen.
To make it tight?
He tied it on Shabbat, and it counts as he smoked on Shabbat.
Right. Because professional time.
Because professional, not everybody knows how to do. Bechor, you know how to tie tzitzit? You see?
Professional.
Proof.
And it's
Regular
a long
person?
term.
Regular person?
Right?
So it has to have 2 conditions to be doraita. One, it has to be professionally done. Second, it has to be a long term. Intentions for long term. Ария же знал, там будет сидеть, там не пойдет.
Заражается.
You got your alcohol or no, Bechor? ברשות מוריי ורבותיי,
שמיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Then, bottom line, Rav Yosef says, we follow which opinion, Bechor? Which opinion we follow?
Sephardi, 7 days.
7 days, very good. What does Ashkenazim hold? Ashkenazim, it's number 2 on the pamphlet. The Rama wrote that some say on that same day, the Rama wrote that some say on that same day. Basically, in other words, if it's last 24 hours. And some say 7 days. How do we rule whenever you have this type of format, Bechor? Some say A and some say B. Yesh omrim A, veyesh omrim B. How do we hold?
Second.
Like the second one, which is 7 days. As Rabbi Ben Ishchai doesn't hold this way. Ben Ishchai goes with the most strict opinion, which is if it passes 24 hours, Mehalel Shabbat. Like the first opinion in the Rishonim, the most strict one, and like the Yesh Omrim, the Rama brings, the first one.
So why do we go strict in this case?
Because we'll see soon that the debate is only on rabbinical level. Why? Because in order for it to be the right level, it has to be a professional knot. But if it's just, let's say, a double bag, and you tie the bag, the edges of it 2 times. That's not a professional one. That's a regular, every guy knows how to do that. Bechor, you know how to tie 2 times? See, everybody knows. So that's not a professional, kesher uman. It's only a question of long term, kesher shel kayama. So if it is not long or not uman, the argument on which level? On the Rabbanan. We go safek the Rabbanan lekula. The Ben Ish Chai is worried about the Rashi and Rambam's and Rashi and Rosh opinion. We're going to see that they define one condition: long lasting. Doesn't we don't care if it is hasud oraita. We don't care if it is professional done or not. According to the Ben Ish Chai, the way. You understand? That's I always tell Bechor, follow one rabbi. Don't make rabbi shopping. Whichever gives me the best price, I go with him. You have to follow one rabbi. Your Chacham over there, what did he agree with the hot water or no?
He's agree, say we don't do this, you're right, this, all. You know how many rabbis involved with this water now? Wait. Unbelievable.
Psich, naучили всех, Bechor? Why? Next time rabbis are getting together, they're going to get up for you. You're allowed to reheat water on Shabbat. So he said it in one synagogue, everybody was shocked. The rabbi said, why you said this to people? So he said, we learned it. So I sent him the source. The rabbi said, no, you're wrong, not allowed to. So I sent him the source. Now he's regretting that he started with Bechor. That's the number 2. Number 3, Bechava reads. 4.
For a nut that is not a craftsman's work and is not usually intended to be permanent, but sometimes one decides to leave it permanently, is one liable.
Yeah. What happens to nuts, Bechor? Sometimes there are certain nuts that people take it apart. Some people leave it, say, short term, in Agda, long term.
Galstuk.
Galstuk, it depends how you tie. This way, Galstuk, for example, because I pull it and it all gets opened one time, it's considered to be not a nut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's considered to be loop.
Okay.
When you're going with all this direction that you do, you're creating a loop for the second edge. Shnurki, no. Shnurki depends how you do that. If you're making... We're going to learn that the laws of tying has to be a way that you cannot pull in one string. If you pull one string, it's not a problem. It's not a nut.
Okay, so it's not a problem.
Even if it's long term. We're going to learn it. You jumping ahead.
На Shabbat лучше без шнурков.
No, don't have to. Most people doesn't make a tie that they need to open it 2 times.
A lot of Kohanim, они тут
Kohanim said it.
раздевают.
For that reason, not because of not tying on Shabbat reason. Yeah. Number 3, answer. However,
a knot that is not a craftsman's work.
get it?
Okay,
Which is not intended to be permanent.
But sometimes one decides to leave it permanently, since at the time of making it, there was no intention to leave it forever. It is permissible to tie it, as even if we consider it a permanent knot, according to our opinion that follows the Shulchan Aruch. It is only rabbinically forbidden. Here, due to the concern that one might decide to leave it permanently, it will be a decree upon a decree.
And therefore it is permissible. You hear? Bechor. Ari Jones, second time. Bit. Да, я знаю. Вы kids education делаете сейчас. Стоит шея, что болела, но урок, что был. Adios, amigo. Bechor, Hannah, Jonathan Noma. Kohanim, we just spoke about Kohanim, Kohanim walked in, you see? Mashiach, come, Mashiach. So now, you hear? It says, what if it will be a bag or any other situation that people sometimes tie it for short term, sometimes they tie it, they say, you know what, leave it for long term. Example, Babulia has right now special candies that you cannot find them, never. Even when you check Chametz and Kippur on Pesach, you cannot find them. The way she hides it, I don't know where she hides it. Usually it's behind Bovo's picture, Leilu Nishmat, she puts it over there. So she only opens it, the double knot that she makes, when special guests are coming. Only then those candies are opened. Now, maybe guests will come within 3-4 days. Maybe guests will come within 1 week. Maybe guests will come within a few months. So when Babulia tied it, what was her intention? To tie it for long term? Or could be for short term?
Could be either one.
If
But
she greedy for a long time.
What if guests are coming too often?
There's no covenant.
So says Ravadia, should you tell Babulia, you're not allowed to tie this double knot right now on Shabbat? Why? I'm going to open it within 7 days. No, maybe you're not going to open it within 7 days. Maybe your guests are going to come after 2 weeks. So now 2 weeks it was already tied, and therefore you already, or retroactively when you made the knot, it became to be a long-term knot. Can you make such a decree on Babulia if she tells you I'm going to open it within 7 days? Can you tell you're not allowed to because you're not for sure going to open it? Can you tell her this restriction on her?
no.
Says Avadia, no. Why? Because even if she left it for more than 7 days, let's say it came out to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks until the next time guests came. Moshe B'Krako, right? What issue did Babulia end up doing? The right or the Rabbanan? Why the Rabbanan? Because it's not professional. Very good of you. Are you understood? In order for the right to be, you need to have 2 conditions. Professional and long term.
So she's still violating.
So you're right, but what issue did she end up violating? Only the Rabbanan, because the double knot she made for those candies bag is only Rabbanan at most, even if it will last more than 7 days from the beginning. And she says maybe I'll open it within 7 days. Maybe guests are gonna come. So even though she ended up violating, it doesn't mean that from the beginning you have to restrict it on her, because otherwise it's gonna be called gezerah legezerah, offense to offense.
So she could violate in retrospect.
If she ended up violating, she ended up violating.
Kid ties a shoe.
We're going to learn about shoes, or most of the time you have no problem with those shoes, because we don't make a knot that it's not going to be open with one pull.
A double knot.
Who ties double knot? Not bow and a knot. Double knot?
Double knot, yeah.
Oh, most people don't do that. Unless there is a person that puts it and then for a few months he slips in and out the legs. Then it will be a problem. Can a person make a double knot on Shabbat, his shoelaces, if he's going to open it after a few months? As long as it's tied, he keeps it. Can he do that on Shabbat or no? Not allowed to. David, what's your question?
So there's 2 factors for Torah violation, right? It's longevity and then it's professionalism.
Right.
So under the scenario you just gave,
Israel, kol hakavod, you brought me here today. Yeah?
under the scenario you just gave, I don't see any violation because
Babulia.
her intention is what matters. And if she didn't intend for it to be longer than 7 days, technically she didn't violate that either, right? Or maybe I misunderstood.
Oh, somebody's thinking here. Kol hakavod. Let's see. Hold it. He said, Rabbi, why you say Babulia even violated? When she tied it, intention was to open within 7 days. So did she tie a professional one? No. Did she intended to make a long-term one? Also no.
That was my question also. I was going to ask about.
Oh, so then why you say Babulia made Avera retroactively?
Because
When I
it's
like
tied.
this, let's say I want to open it every Rosh Hashanah,
Once a year.
once a year.
So then what?
It's a long term for sure.
That's for sure. I mean, not for sure. According to the opinion, it says forever. It's long-term. Like you tie tzitzit. You want to tie tzitzit forever. That's a long-term for sure. But something that is not forever, then it's already room to debate. Bottom line, we hold that it is long-term. More than 7 days considered to be already long-term. That's how we hold. Bottom line.
Right.
So how are you allowed to untie it on Shabbat?
We're not allowed to.
Yeah.
If Babulia tied this bag for long-term, from Yushvo to Yushvo that she has, and this is every few months she has it. Then she tied it, even if she didn't tie it on Shabbat, she's not allowed. You're not allowed to open it on Shabbat.
It's double knot.
Double knot. You have to tear the bag. Got it?
One knot. It's fine.
We're gonna Rabotai. This knotting, it's so practical in laws of Shabbat, unbelievable.
Right.
When you throw the garbage,
Garbage.
sometimes person makes double knot,
Yes.
sometimes no. So how you go around that?
Not allowed on Shabbat?
Loop, all these things, all these questions have to be addressed. That's how we have to learn all these details carefully. Bechor famideh.
Может, до конца не делать, да?
We're going to learn. There are those who disagree, but the main opinion is to be lenient. And so wrote the Graz. Who is the Graz? Gaon Rabbi Zalman, the head rabbi of Chabad. Did you know? The head rabbi of Chabad, Rabbi Zalman Miladi. He lived in Europe. and he was a very big gaon,
That's why.
very big gaon. He's about 250 years ago, and he wrote Shulchan Aruch Gaon Rabbi Zalman. Называется Shulchan Aruch Harav. Harav. That's they called it. That's the Shulchan Aruch that Chabad follows. We follow Rabbi Yosef Karo. They follow Shulchan Aruch Harav. That's their guidelines. But it doesn't have on everything. Part of, if you want people to follow you, you gotta be knowing in everything. Like Shulchan Aruch did.
Right.
Or Chaim, Yoredeah, Even Ezer, Choshen Mishpat. So it was, it has on a lot of parts of it, but not as detailed as we have in our Shulchan Aruch, Sephardic Shulchan Aruch. So that's what they follow. And he holds, the Gaz, that those who tie knots in clothing, and so wrote the Graz, that those who tie knots in clothing or shoes casually and have no specific intention at the time of the tying, it is permissible to tie them on Shabbat, even though they are not untied until after some time. They are not considered a permanent knot, as at the time of tying, it was not certain that they would not untie it, the knots on Saturday, after Shabbat. As sometimes even the sages untying the shoelaces and removing their shoes before they go to sleep. This last sentence we have to work on, but the point is, like whatever you say. The Gaon Rabbi Zalman, you probably have a Chabad Neshama, David, and you said exactly what the Gaon Rabbi Zalman said.
Right. Wow.
That because at the time of tying she didn't do the violate, she didn't intend for violating long term, then there is no problem. Even though she forgot, but again, she's supposed to intend, I'm going to open it within a week. But if she says, don't eat all the candies, keep few, in a month, my brother comes from Israel.
If she's not sure.
If she says, in a month, my brother comes from Israel. Завяжи 2 раза, там поставь, чтобы никто не знал. Чтобы дети не знали. Ari, what will be in that situation? She's telling you, in 1 month, my brother comes from Israel.
Asur.
Wow.
Can she tie right now the bag? She asking you, tie the bag, double knot, put it away.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Right.
Sladki stol.
Well,
Not
that's because
professional.
it's not professional.
It's not professional, but it's a long term.
By Rabbanan.
Можно или нет? Why mutar bechor? You say by Rabbanan mutar. Why by Rabbanan? Mutar to violate Shabbat Rabbanan? Huh? I give you chicken with milk together. You can eat. Or the Rabbanan.
Другой захочет мясо.
All right?
Rabbi,
Yeah.
so if you just make 1 knot, it's fine.
Why not? No problem.
But still, what's the difference? 1 knot, 2 knot? This case still not.
Because it's not long lasting. One knot is going to be open. It's not something that holds. But we're going to learn that this type of knot, you know, when they turn the bag and they go like this, it's called kesher berosh hut. Kesher at the beginning of the hut. Yosef John. This type of knot is considered to be double knot. Got it? יוסף, למה אתה כזה רחוק, תגיד לנו? בוא לידינו, בוא. קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו, לכל אשר תקראו באמת. בוא אברהם יעשה לך קצת מסאז', הוא מסאזיסט.
English or Russian?
Number 4.
When it's applied to you, it doesn't work English and Russian.
It is permissible. Is it permissible? David, read a little bit. Where is more pamphlets? Yaakov, give him a pamphlet.
It
David.
is also permissible to untie such knots on Shabbat if they were tied casually.
I think he works.
Untying is okay.
Yeah? Read, David. Let me rest a little bit. Ari John, number 4.
Is it permissible?
Bechor after.
Is it
Yaakov,
permissible
give him the
to
Buman.
untie such knots on Shabbat if they were tied casually?
It is also permissible.
It is also permissible to untie such knots on Shabbat if they were tied casually.
You hear? Even if it ended up more than a week. That's the Chidush here. Even if it was supposed to be more than... No. If she intended for more than a week, then it's a problem. If she says, tie it right now, hide it, those candies over there, because my brother is coming from Israel, I want him to have those candies, very delicious candies. So when she ties those knots, or she's telling you to tie those knots, she's violating the Shabbat. If the knot was intended to be long-term, month, she says her brother is coming, then you will not be allowed to also untie it the next month when the brother is going to come. You're not allowed to untie this bag.
Can you save her? Meaning, she tied it and had intention to tie it for longer than a week.
How are you going to save her? Untie it.
Untied before a week.
You could do it, but she broke Shabbat.
She did?
At that time, she broke Shabbat until you'll fix it.
But it didn't happen though yet. The week didn't pass yet.
No, it doesn't matter. Gemara says Masechet Shabbat, Daf Dalet. Bring Masechet Shabbat. Bring it. Bring Meir behind you. There's a Masechet Shabbat. Daf Dalet Amud Aleph. One person put a bread dough inside the oven.
English, Hebrew?
English frame.
Shabbat.
Shabbat. First one. Daf Dalet.
That gets violated right away. It cooks right away.
No, not right away. It takes a few minutes. Before it's going to form crust. Huh? So Bekitzu, Gemara says over there before.
The issue there is you can't touch the thingy.
So Gemara says you cannot break the Shabbat midrabanan to save your friend that is about to violate the Oraita.
Can you take it with your hands?
With your hand, yeah.
Okay, so it's not the same thing.
Nachon. So I'm saying, but until you'll fix it, the friend violates the Oraita. You could fix it with your hands, but until you'll fix it, there was a violation.
Even though
It's like I'll steal from his pocket right now, and then I'll return it to him.
no, but taking it already violated. Here, the violation doesn't happen until a week after.
Until a week after is going to be proved that you violated originally. Also, don't forget there is intentions involved.
Alright, so intention.
Yeah. Gemara says, if a lady said, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. She said, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. Her husband says, Batel mevutal. She didn't hear that. The nullification of the neder. And tomorrow she goes to a party, shashlik. Why, shashlik? Unbelievable.
Who's her husband? What do we do?
She says, tomorrow I'm going to start my promise. Today it's still okay. And she eats the shashlik. In truth, did she violate or no?
Yes, for her.
No.
She doesn't know.
In front of Hashem, she violated or no? Her husband nullified the neder.
That's a lot.
Torah says, Hashem islach la. Hashem has to forgive her. Says Rabbi Akiva, why she has to forgive her? Because her intention was, I'm doing Avirah, but it's okay. Chudo chudash mechelo mikuna. So her kavanah was to do Avirah. It just happened to be, it's not an Avirah because her husband nullified that she didn't know about it. Got it? You gave your friend that eats pork all the time, you gave him kosher pork, the fake one. And he doesn't know. He said, listen, vas on vacation, payom. You order your kosher food, and he thinks he ordered the tarif, and he ended up eating kasher. Does he get an avirah or no? Ari, what do you say?
Yeah.
He thinks it's bacon.
Intentions.
You saved him because you told the chef, listen, when he asks, give it to him.
By halacha, no. According to the Shamayim, yes.
Oh. You understand? Hashem is to forgive him for the wrong intentions.
And he didn't make the bracha either.
Okay, that's another story. Let's say he had him in mind. Okay, number 5. So before number 5, number 4 you got clear. Number 4 is because Babulia tied it not intentionally in this case of long term. She tied it, happened to be more than a week, happened to be casually. Then you say, listen, Babulia, last time you tied it was 3 weeks ago. Yeah. You now I don't know if I can open it. What's the answer? You could open it because she didn't intend for 3 weeks. She thought. She didn't even think. She said, tie it, sure. But if she tells you, tie it, put it away before all the kids are going to finish everything because my brother is coming in a month, I want him to enjoy that. So she's saying, tie it for a month. Then it's a problem to untie it on Shabbat.
Probably even if she didn't say that's her intention.
No, it matters about the intention.
But you're saying even if she didn't say it verbally, she's waiting a month. She's thinking a month.
If she thinks a month's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if she didn't say nothing, I don't know what's her intention. She said, tie it. She asked you, or she ties it herself. I don't know what was her intentions. Then what do we do? What do we do? On Shabbat, 3 weeks from now, she's asking to open it. Can you open it or no?
If it's the right side, you can.
It's not all right.
If it is.
No, it's not all. Yeah, if it is, no. But if it's not all right, it's the Rabbanan. At most, it will be the Rabbanan because it's not a professional nut. then what would the rule would be? Allowed. That's how number 4 says. Got it? Number 5. Let's go.
Is it permissible to untie?
Hold on. You read the question. I'll read the answer. Or the other way around. You read the question. Oh, wait,
Is
number
it
5.
permissible to unite them
Это откройте. פותח את ידיך, זהו.
if they were tied a long time before Shabbat and remained untied until Shabbat?
Yeah, read again. I didn't understand you.
Is it permissible?
Clear, louder, louder. Вы в армии были.
Is it permissible to unite them, to
untie.
untie them if they were tied a long time before Shabbat and remained untied until Shabbat? Even if they were tied.
Remain
a long-
untied or remain tied? I think there's a mistake here. Let's see number 5 answer.
They remain tied.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake here.
Even if they were tied a long time ago and were not untied, in the meantime, it's permissible to untie them.
Whatever we just said. We said it. It ended up long time. Babulia asked you to tie it, or she tied it herself. Her intention was within 7 days, less than 7 days. And he ended up more than 7 days. Now comes Shabbat, she's asking, can you please untie it for me or no? What do? You're allowed to untie. Whatever we said earlier. Okay, next.
Page 50. Is it allowed to warm up water on Shabbat just enough to remove its coldness? Answer. It is forbidden to heat water to thaw it because there is a concern that one may forget and cook them by letting the water boil. Even if it wasn't intentionally considered.
There was reheat there or were heat? What's the word?
Warm
to
up.
heat water, it says.
To heat. Okay, not reheat. Okay.
No.
Maybe I should put in parentheses first time. To heat water for the first time. Okay.
Even if it wasn't intentionally considered, it is still deemed an inevitable consequence, pasik resheh, since it involves a passive action, shev ve'al ta'aseh. However, it is permissible to have a non-Jew do it, as we rule that an inevitable consequence when done by a non-Jew is permissible.
You hear? Beautiful thing. Bechor, listen to this.
By non-Jew.
Cold water, not cooked. Can you put it on the plata on Shabbat?
No.
Cold water, not cooked.
No.
If it's plata off with the timer.
On, plata on.
No.
Asu. Why asu?
Cool.
Huh?
It's not cooking.
You might forget it.
After cooking.
Not after cooking. It's never cooked.
Not
Might be
cooked.
Asu. Good. Can I say, Rabbi, I watch it. I watch it. Can you stand over there and watch it? Not cooked. Ya paftara, not cooked.
Permission, no mutar.
Asu. Listen, Rabbi, what happened? What would happen? You might forget. Somebody might call you. You get into a conversation. Your child needs attention, whatever it is, and you forgot it on the plate and you end up cooking it. So, Rabbi John, this is not my kavanah. Don't we have a rule? We follow the kavanah of people. When I put it on the plata, I didn't intend for the water to get cooked. I intended for the water to become a little bit warm, not to be so cold. It was chalodnik. Bovo oil likes warm cold water, not such a cold water.
Why is it allowed?
I'm not allowed to. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Rav Yosef says, asu. Why asu? It's not my kavanah. Rabotai, today we're learning a beautiful new concept. All the time we spoke about concept called pasik reshe, right? What is pasik reshe? I intend for A, and something I don't intend B happens. Example, I open the refrigerator door, A. My intention is to take out the stuff from the refrigerator door, from the refrigerator. And the light goes on. I intend for A to open the door. B, light goes on. Nazavaitza pasik reshe. Right? Usually the pasik reshe, what we learned so far? Immediately. What if it's not immediately? What if it will happen after? Pasik reshe begrama, what do we say? Allowed. Example, a person is allowed to take ice from the ice machine in the house, right? Even though doing that is causing the machine to realize that the tray is empty, and it's going to create more ice right now. Electrical, what are you doing? It's not happening right away. My intention is to take the ice.
How's that there?
The machine will realize that ice is missing. It takes delay, thinking, all these things,
And start.
and happens creating more. So my intention is to do A. B will happen after a few seconds. And therefore, what we learned, pasik reshe begrama, allowed. That's what we learned. Good. Today we're learning a new concept. There is a concept called pasik reshe, even though it does not happen right away. What is that?
What is that?
Whenever you did A, B will happen, but you didn't intend for B to happen. But it will happen for sure.
But you know it's gonna happen.
Yeah? Our case, a person put water on top of the plata. Cold water that was never cooked. He said, Rabbi, очень холодный. My babuля cannot drink such a cold water. So what do you want? I'll put it on the plata because I want to make it room temperature. What Chazal tells us? Not allowed to. Why not? Because if he will forget it over there, it's going to get cooked. Rabbi John, but it's not going to get cooked right away. Even if it will end up cooked, I will forget, I'll go play with the kids, I'll get into conversation with somebody, I get Heseh Hadat, how you said this, I push my mind away from it. It could happen, but it's not going to become, it's not my intention. And it didn't happen right away. So why are we not going to say Pasik Reshe Begrama? Like the ice cube machine.
So it's starting right away.
Huh?
It's starting as soon as you put on the.
Yeah, but my intention is that it should not continue to the stage of warm, scalding hot. My intention is to be there for 5 minutes. To become scalding hot, it needs to be there for 10 minutes. So I intend for A, which is take out the cold, the chill, to make it room temperature. B, which is the cooking stage, will happen if I forget it over there. Is it also considered pasik reshe or no? Is it like open the refrigerator door and the light goes on? Says Avadia, yes. That's the chidush he brings over here. That's a very interesting pasik reshe. You should know.
What do you call this pasik reshe?
Pasik reshe.
Pasik reshe.
It's under the category of pasik reshe. And the chidush is pasik reshe. The oraita is.
Not lower grammar? Lower
No?
level of grammar? Lower level of grammar?
No. The oraita, grammar is allowed. We're talking about the oraita. You say grammar. Grammar is allowed. It's not even the rabbanan. You have 3 levels, right? The oraita, rabbanan, allowed. Here it is. The oraita says Ravadia. If you ended up forgetting that water on the plata, you ended up breaking Shabbat the oraita.
I have a question.
Now, question to you. I'm not gonna do it because the oraita. I'm gonna ask my goy. Babulia has home attendant. I'm gonna ask the home attendant, put the water on the plata. Make sure it's not gonna get cooked. Because if it's gonna get cooked, I asked her the oraita. Can I do that or no? Bechor, home attendant, I'm allowed to tell you put the cold water on the plata. Bechor, you have to see.
Doorgestien.
I'm a little bit.
You put the cold water on the plata because Babula doesn't like very cold water.
For babuля mutar.
Why mutar?
Because babuля.
Can you ask a goy to do sudoraita for you on Shabbat?
No. Do it after. How long takes it to cook the hot water? After Shabbat and mutar.
After Shabbat.
Yes.
I'm saying on Shabbat. Can I tell a goy, listen goy, take tap water, put it on the plata on Shabbat and make it hot. Make it palakas. Can I do that or no? Not allowed. Why? Because cooking water is sudoraita. I'm allowed to tell the goy only sudorabanan to do on Shabbat. Shvut, the shvut, b'makom mitzvah, right? But this is not the rabbanan, that's the doraita. Says Ravadia, this case you're allowed to tell the goy. You just said that it's doraita. Doraita not allowed to ask a goy. How is the equation fit? Listen, Rabotai, to a very big chidush. Another big chidush I'll teach you today. Even though pasik reshe is a doraita concept, it does not apply to goyim. You understood what I said or no? Bechor kitchen is pitch dark. Ничего не видно. Inside the kitchen you have a refrigerator. Abovom ondagi. Yellow light gets hot. Can you open the refrigerator door on Shabbat? Huh? No. Can you ask a goy to open the refrigerator on Shabbat?
Yes.
Why? You're asking a goy to do sudoraita.
No.
Which doraita I'm asking him? Pasik reshe. Pasik reshe concept does not apply to goyim. And even though that light, the oraita one, is going to turn on knowingly, immediately, no problem.
Right.
Pasik reshe bagoyim
Does not apply.
does not apply. In the days of Chazal, they used to warm up food on coals. They used to have, you remember this thing in the wall? How do you call this thing? Chimney. Chimney it's called? Fireplace, sorry. Fire chimney is the thing comes out. Fireplace. They used to have coals over there, and they were very efficient, Bechor. They used to warm up the house with the same coals that they used to cook with. Yeah, they used to put the pot over there. It's anyway on for the warm up of the house. But at the same time, it cooks the food. Come Shabbat, if you remove it from the fire, the coals are turning and they're igniting.
Yeah.
Can you take the pot from the fireplace on Shabbat? Your intention is to remove the pot, but after Machitzki, what's going to happen to the coal, Shalom? You're going to ignite. That's going to be Isur, the Oraita, igniting the fire. Says the halacha, you're not allowed to take out the pot. Well, Rabbi, I don't intend for the coals. My kavanah is to take the pot. Also, Shchel Churam.
Oh.
No problem. You're not allowed to. You have a solution. Tell the goy, oh Rabbi, Shmo Guftet, goy, the Oraita, not allowed to do. Not allowed to do. Directly take a fire, turn on. That's not allowed to. But whenever you tell the goy to do A and B will happen, this pasik reshe. Pasik reshe does not apply to goy.
Amen.
Got it?
Even if you tell.
Till here, Rabotai, is the part of the pshat. Now we're going to go into a little bit deeper. Why pasik reshe doesn't apply to goy?
Well, because they don't have the commandment. They don't have the
Huh?
They don't have the commandment.
Listen to this. What do you mean? Even though they don't have no command, can I tell a goy turn on a fire for me on Shabbat?
Okay.
Take a lighter and turn on a fire.
We have this commandment. They're all right. You can't.
I cannot. So I'm allowed to. Why am I allowed to tell him pasik reshe?
He does it according to the way he wants to for himself.
No, you told him take the pot out of the coals, knowing the coals are going to turn on right now because they're going to be exposed to oxygen. Why we say it's allowed? So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai brings a certain line in the Zohar that helps a lot in understanding that. When I read this Gemara, it's not in Gemara, it's in the Rishonim, also they derived from the Gemara. That Pasik Yashek concept does not apply to Goy. It was, why not? Rule, you know? Until I came a little bit to the Zohar. I read the Zohar, then I say, now I understood why.
Light open.
Abraham HaChaim, the Zohar says like this. It says the Yehudi is a difference between Yehudi and a Goy. What's the difference? Goy has nefesh and ruach, which is the power of moving the body, all the desires the person has, and ruach. What Goy does not have? Neshama. I say, where is the neshama?
In the head. Brain.
In the machshava. That's why the Torah is given to the Jews, because Hashem says, I want the Jews to be besimcha. Parashat Kitavo, I showed you yesterday. 98 curses. For what reason?
Not for serving Hashem with simcha.
Because you did not serve me with happiness.
When Hashem gave you everything.
Besimcha, change the letters. Besimcha, budite bukvi, machshava. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I want to give you the Torah. For what reason? For you to be besimcha. It says, on Shabbat, what's the main thing? Machshava. Why Shabbat is the main thing, is the machshava? You thought about it or didn't think about it? Machshava bulatam, no bulatam. Why you have to do all the time machshava? Do you ever ask yourself this? Because what is the machshava? On the neshama level. Who has the neshama? Yehudi. Why pasik reshe is part of Yehudim? Because it has to, since you know it's going to happen, it's part of your machshava. Why by go you can tell him go ahead and do the right of violation for you? Because he has no machshava. Because he has no machshava, the pasik reshe does not apply, because pasik reshe is the subcategory for machshava.
So what do they have?
They have nefesh and ruach.
Yeah, sure.
They have the power of talking.
Yes, chokhmah.
Yes, no problem. Machshava that we have, they don't have. And that's why nevuah can only be by Yehudim. Because in order for Navi to do the job that he does, he has to be besimcha. Who has the power to be besimcha? Whoever has neshama. That's why the oraita you cannot do, you cannot tell the goy to do. A pasik reshe you cannot do, but you're allowed to tell the goy to do. Because the pasik reshe, it's a factor of machshava, and machshava does not apply to the goy. And that's why simcha, the song says, simcha lo timtza bagoyim. You're not going to be able to find simcha begoyim. Why not? Machshava is lacking. What is the machshava? Neshama. Neshama only given to the Jewish people.
So Simcha only Jews have.
The real simcha only Yehudim has. And that's why Shabbat, what do we say? Ismechu b'malchutecha shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. You know that song or no?
Это микс, когда мерить идет, там же там половина на половину, там какой-то махшава.
Mixed? What?
Mixed marriage.
Mixed marriage.
What do you have to do mixed marriage? Bechor? Talking about laws of Shabbat right now.
No, I'm talking about...
Saying if married to Goyim,
Он Гоим женился на Гоим.
No.
Она не пьюр, ничего.
Она не гюр, не pure, right? Ну и что?
Ей может сказать дело, она пойдет делать, это ей можно.
Дело for what? On Shabbat?
Да.
And therefore what?
Вы же говорите, Гою можно сказать.
Why? Because Goy doesn't have the machshava. Why? Because it doesn't have the neshama. That's a specialty we have and they don't have.
he went a step further.
Huh?
He went a step further.
פעם ידד בכור. Very good. ברוך אדוני לעולם.
Amen.
אמן ואמן.